Yeah, I just won't eat the burgers. I'll eat the small finger food.
So the burgers aren't good?
No, they're fine. I'm just not going to just sit here and like.
Oh, okay. I was just confused because you started off saying something wasn't cooked all the way, and then you was like, I just want to eat the burgers. So I was like, oh, so the burgers aren't cooked all the way?
Dang, you just going to put mine not cooked all the way on the camera like that?
I mean,
that's all right. I'm eating it anyway.
I was just saying, I'm pretty sure people are gonna be curious.
You're welcome to have some.
It was just bow time for me.
Did you get any Bo biscuits?
No.
Do you ever get Bo biscuits?
Are you talking about the Bo-Berry biscuits?
Yeah, Bo Berry.
Yeah, I get them sometimes.
They are freaking good.
It depends on what I get, because like obviously, well, I won't say obviously, but if I get something that comes with, well, most stuff comes with a biscuit, it's like, do I want another biscuit? Yep. You know. Now I'm trying to think, what does it come with a biscuit? Most everything I get comes with a biscuit.
I just get one thing when I go there. That's the 4-piece strings.
That's what I had, and it came with a biscuit.
Mm-hmm. I don't understand. I guess when some people go, they're ordering for other people, but when I go to a restaurant, I know exactly what I want. 4-piece supreme, no seasoning on the fries, barbecue ranch.
But is that when you go into places you already go to though?
Yeah.
Oh God. Because I'm about to say, like, if you're going to a place you don't usually go, like, I'm pretty sure you're not gonna have like an automatic order though.
That's true. Unless you're one of them people that like to be prepared when they go places, so they'll look it up before. I'm not me. That's me. That's
usually. Well, it depends. Like, if it's a sit down, like for instance, okay, so where you had your birthday dinner at, right? Mm-hmm. I had already looked at the menu, so I didn't know what I was gonna get, but I had an idea of what they had. Mm-hmm. So I was like, I'll make a game time decision when I get there.
Would you go back
for dinner?
Sure.
Possibly.
I don't know. Like I said, like Cheddar's. There's nothing on there that's like, hey, this looks good. This sounds good.
Yeah, I mean, it was. The environment was pretty. Like, it was a good environment. Mm-hmm. So I feel like it'd be a nice little cool place to grab, like, because I ended up getting a hamburger, mm-hmm. which hamburger wasn't bad and it wasn't too expensive either. So I mean, it'd be a nice chill place to go grab a burger and a beer or something, because they had the TVs and stuff. So I mean, I would go maybe for that, or after it starts warming up, go up to on the rooftop or whatever or something. Get to look out over the downtown area.
I did try going up the stairs. It was locked. I couldn't go up there.
You had to take the elevator.
Oh.
You didn't know there was an elevator?
Why not? Why are the stairs locked?
I don't know. I didn't even know there were stairs. I just assumed it was only an elevator. I mean, obviously there's probably stairs to get there, but I didn't. That's not my first thought. Because the last time I went, when I went upstairs, we just got on the elevator, which is like right outside the door when you walk out of the restaurant. So it was like right there to the right elevator.
So you've been since my birthday?
No, this is before.
Okay. I don't. Where is the elevator? So where's the elevator?
So okay. So the door that you walk into the, mm-hmm. and so you open the door and you're in the restaurant, right? Mm-hmm. So if you're facing the door like you're about to open, there's an elevator right to the left.
Well, that makes sense. So I wouldn't be looking for it.
Yeah, like if you're not looking for it, you're not gonna. I mean, even though it's right there, if you're not paying attention, you're not gonna see it. But yeah, it's like literally like right there to the left of the door.
Yeah, I'm probably looking like the rest of the restaurant, so I'm mm-hmm. not even. I got you.
Especially because the way it's open, it would make sense that if you walk in, you like, hey, go this way. There's an elevator to get to the roof or whatever. But yeah, it's like right there. It's all good, man.
Yeah. How often do you grill?
How often do I grill? Mm-hmm. Like on the actual grill? Mm-hmm. The last time I grilled something, I grilled ribs for my mom's birthday 2 years ago. Or maybe a year ago. It's whenever I'm not gonna put an age out there. Whenever it was for her birthdays ago.
Yeah. It's been a while for me, but I just bought a grill, or a cheap grill. It's not the grill I wanted, but I've been wanting the grill. So I've grilled twice, but I've been wanting to grill like almost every day since I got it. And
I'll be honest with you, James. Well, I'm not gonna put it on the show. All I'm gonna say is there's a place that you know, and I know that we both know together that has a grill that nobody would have just. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Okay, no, I usually know what you're saying. I don't know what you're saying.
if that grill were to have showed up somewhere else,
Oh, okay.
I don't think anybody would have cared.
Yes. I think they have to. I don't know if they still have to.
I think so.
So, I mean, I hear what you're saying. It's probably worth more than mine just based on the color and what I've seen at Walmart.
I mean, and then too, like, I feel like if somebody were to say something, all you have to do is just say, like, I was just using it real quick, and I bring it back.
That's true. That's true. But then, I mean, you know, like, why didn't you tell somebody? Why didn't you ask? But no, I hear you.
I mean, listen, James. I mean, we can have that conversation off air. All I'm going to say is this, without saying anything. There are people that I know who happen to be above me, who things have left with them. You know, that's all I'm going to say.
Interesting. I know, well, if things leave with me, I usually ask, but...
No, I get you. But you also have, I don't say more to lose, but like, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, they, you know, because they're going to look out for who they're going to look out for.
So...
I know they don't know what we're talking about, but you know what I'm talking about.
Well, you said, yeah. There is possibly openings over where I'm at.
I don't want to go get them, man.
Why not? It's easy money.
It's not the. Here's the issue, James.
Overnights and...
It's not. I don't even have an issue with the overnights. It's the thing of like, you're always on call.
Yeah. Thank you for reminding me to jump up, phone vibrate.
Like when I say always on call. Like there's no, like I don't know, like I'd be cool if like, okay, hey, these are the days I was on call or these are the time frame. But like it could be a random Wednesday night. Gotta go. Like, am I a superhero getting called to action? Like,
for some customers, it might be.
Signals up. I gotta go.
There's a sign.
I just turned to rip off my shirt. There's just a GF on my chest.
GF stands for girlfriend. I know what you're saying.
So there's a girl on my chest?
No, I'm just saying. It made it seem like I'm...
I know, I'm just messing with you.
So I was chatting with somebody, and then they said they sent a GIF of Kobe like pulling his shirt to the side, and he was like, I don't know why he's doing that to his jersey. Now, I have reasons that I feel like it does, but I want to know what other people think. So one is subconscious. You know, it's a subconscious thing. It's not like you're just doing it for a specific reason. Right. Two, it's like in the heat of the moment. So again, you're not necessarily doing it.
That's what I would think.
Yeah. And then three, it's like this is who I am, or and the reason I say subconscious because people aren't thinking like I'm Superman unless you're Shaq and Dwight Howard. But he opened them things.
Don't let Shaq hear you say that about Dwight.
So it's so many things that it could be, but when it just comes down to it, I think it's just passion.
I feel like a lot of people, speaking of Kobe, I mean, may rest in peace.
Yes.
Rest in power, rest in whatever. I don't know. People have so many different.
Rest in glory.
But that's not R.I.P. though.
That's true.
That's rest. That's R.I.G. So he's a rig. Yeah.
I mean, there was a couple seasons where people thought it was great for the Lakers.
Okay, I like how I was saying. When I think one thing about Kobe is like, as much as I didn't like Kobe, but I respected his talent, I do still feel like a lot of people, maybe hate is a strong word, but I feel like a lot of people don't give him the respect he should get. I
felt like obviously he's been getting more since he passed on, but I think he's been getting more respect than he ever has since he passed. Because when he was alive, I'm not going to say, I can't speak for everybody, but I didn't hear anybody say that he was like top 5.
I don't know. I just know because I guess I'm more so thinking about, and this is kind of to go along with the whole thing we talked about, and then your whole ranking thing, whatever. But like, I just know. I guess I mainly talk about the whole conversation. We talk about like the MJ, LeBron. It's like nobody even mentions Kobe in that. He's not even in that argument.
That's
Like he's not even. I'm saying he has what rings? What 6?
5.
5?
Mm-hmm.
Like a couple of them back to back. He's broke a lot of records. All these things. Like he's not even.
Yeah. It's because he's in a shadow of Michael Jordan. It's kind of hard.
Yep.
Because, I mean, one, you got these other people who have just different positions. So it's like, if you're not the best at your position, how can you be considered the best of all time? So you got, Steph Curry, what's his name, Magic Johnson, vying for power for point guard. LeBron James, well, I take that. Okay, I'm contradicting myself now because they obviously. No, that doesn't.
I get what you said, but what I was gonna say was like that's not even fair because like most people nowadays recognize that play positionless basketball to a certain degree.
That's true.
So it's kind of like, I mean, in some regards, Jokic is a point guard.
He's point center. I know what you're saying though.
The way he facilitates,
exactly.
Like he could be,
Draymond. Draymond is definitely the not ball handler, the facilitator.
I feel like Draymond is just on the team now.
So okay, listen, this man again. I know Draymond's never going to see this. Maybe we should cut this out and put it specifically just one little part on there. And it's old news because he said this before. But Draymond, nobody was telling you how to be Draymond Green. Nobody can tell you how to be yourself. We were telling you how to be a better teammate. And for you to be doing all these antics, for you to be taking up all this money on a roster, and for you to be playing, being out for how many games that you're out for, you were taking up a roster spot that could be used for somebody who wants to be there that can contribute consistently. And sure, I'm not discarding anything that you've done, but you're being a horrible teammate.
I was gonna let you. That's be your whole segment. I got nothing. Listen, man. For the record, I don't like criticizing like NBA stars in general because they're already at a level that I would never get to, or never have been, or whatever. But at the same time, it's like. I feel like Draymond, to a certain degree, should be kind of lucky, or at least kind of like, not lucky, more appreciative.
Yes. Yep.
Because you're on a squad that won all these years, on a great squad, potential to win again if y'all do some things right, and you don't even make more than 10 points a game. Like, you're a core member, and you're not really. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I think we all, and he's obviously have less of a chance to be in the Hall of Fame than Curry and Klay Thompson, but I think we can all agree that he's going to be in the Hall of Fame. But
of course.
He's going to be in there for the same reasons as Dennis Rodman. Not okay. Obviously, Dennis Rodman was specifically rebounding.
I was about to say, I feel like Dennis Rodman knew his role was rebounding. That's all. Draymond. He has more to offer than Dennis because he can score. Dennis was like, I don't think I'm gonna try.
I'm afraid to even look at. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I'm good. I was just like, that's all I was gonna say. Like he's not.
I'm afraid to even look at Dennis Rodman's points per game, like for his career, because I feel like I want to say it's at least 9, but in my head I'm thinking that I may have seen like 4.5 or something. And if it's that low, that is crazy. Like, I want to see what is the lowest points per game a player has had to be in the Hall of Fame.
I have no idea. I'm just going to look at that.
But Draymond,
7.3.
Okay, so I was too high and too low. But Draymond, he is definitely not, what's the word? He is. The NBA, I don't want to say is looking out for him, but they are trying to hold on because they recognize that Curry, Klay, and Draymond are a product. And if you take Draymond away, sure, they can go out and get somebody else, but they're iconic. Those 3 are iconic. So while he's definitely messing things up, it's almost like you are taking away Steph's, I don't want to say chances, but it's like officially ending an era.
He's like the heart and soul of the team to a certain degree.
Yeah, and sure, he lots of people feel like he should be out of the NBA. Like the people have been banned from the NBA for
I don't think it should go that far.
No, but in my opinion, I don't know what the rules are. I don't know what stipulations you would have to do something like this. But nullify his contract, which I mean, a contract's a contract. So there's you'd have to do quite a bit for it to be done. So I don't know if just like punching somebody is a reason to nullify a contract. But nullify a contract, make him sit out like the rest of the season or a season, and then have him come back in, and then he fits where he fits. Because I'm sure people aren't going to be paying him max money. He's going to have to get in where he fits in.
I feel like I don't know if they should necessarily nullify the contract. I don't know if it should go that route. I would say more along the lines of how they did Zion Williamson. Williamson? Williams?
Yep. Williamson, excuse me.
It is Williamson.
Yep.
I always want to cut it off at Williams for some reason. It just seems more black. I don't know. But I feel like they should kind of do how they did him, where it was like when Zion was having issues with injury and weight, they put in like a kind of stipulation where like he had to lose weight, get to a certain weight or whatever. I feel like they should do what Draymond was like, hey, if you get this amount of technicals or get ejected, you lose, a certain amount of money, or you don't get the full thing. So there's some kind of like stipulation, like, hey, you get into this line, if you get above this.
Because we were thinking, I thought you were going to say, because Zion, I thought you were going to say, if you don't play as many games. Mm-hmm. But in my head, like when you were talking, like if you get this many, and I was thinking it should be text. You said text. I was like, this man right here. We just be on the same page sometimes.
But I feel like that's the best option. But I was also listening to what's the guy's name? He'd be on First Take sometimes earlier today. Jay Williams. Mm-hmm. I think because he was talking about how like he feels. One of his issues is he feels like Steve Kerr. Like, because I think Steve Kerr, like with the latest one, Steve Kerr came out. He said it was unforgivable, or whatever. And he was like, his issue with it is like he's not questioning Steve Kerr's coaching, but he does question the fact of like he doesn't sound upset enough. Because like his tone and the words, like it doesn't come off like I'm upset. It's just more so like it is what it is. It's unforgivable. Like it's almost kind of like we'll deal with it. It's unforgivable. He probably should have did it, but all right, whatever. As opposed to like, no, this is I don't think he was asking like to come out and cuss out, but like he wants him to see him like some kind of visible upsetness about it. Like, hey, this is unacceptable. Like we can't keep doing this.
So I think part of that, me personally, I don't think Draymond backs down from anybody. So I don't want to say I know Steve Kerr personally, but we've seen Steve Kerr, how he acts on the floor and post game interviews. And sure, his coaching can be different from the way he acts, behind the scenes. There is the story. Everybody knows that, Michael Jordan punched him in his face, and he got Michael Jordan's respect because he didn't back down. So the question is how much he obviously has the respect of his locker room. If he didn't, he would have been out for a while ago. But afraid isn't the word I'm looking for, but that's the word I'm going to use. Is he afraid of Draymond? Like if he comes out and says whatever, obviously he feels like things should be handled behind the scenes because when Draymond punched Jordan Poole,
I think that's what it is.
Yeah. So I wonder like if he says anything, how it's going to be taken. I don't because I mean Draymond is the reason one of the reasons that KD left. So I don't know how much it's going to affect. At this point, it doesn't matter. I mean, y'all at the bottom. Y'all barely playing for a playing spot.
He's the reason KD left. Well, I would say like you said, he's one of the reasons.
Yeah.
He's definitely the reason Jordan Poole left.
Yes.
And
sorry, go
on. I'm not gonna say he's the reason why some of the young players aren't whatever, but he's hindered them in certain ways.
Most definitely. And to be honest, I wonder. Obviously, the 2022 championship is an outlier. Oh, excuse me, I take that back. If he when KD left, if they would have moved on from Draymond, how different would their dynasty be? Now, me personally, I don't think more stars is better, but if you can get more role players, if you can get a better center big down to anchor, something like that, would they have won more championships? Obviously, there's the years where Clay was injured, and then Steph. It does that. I don't know how you.
I got a pocket this time. That's why. I was listening, but I just have to look. It was just kind of just like, yeah.
And then Steph hurt his hand, so I mean, it's there were some issues, but.
Let me ask you this question, because I hear what you're saying, but let me ask you this question, because obviously they didn't move on from him. So just this year, I didn't say this past year because we're still in it. If Draymond hadn't missed those 25 games plus however many games he missed, do you think they'd still be fighting for the 10 seed like they are now?
When he first got back, there was some I want to say data, but they had quite a bit of wins. Obviously, they've slowed down on that, so I don't know. I mean, it's not like they're that much of a better team. If they were, then they would have. I mean, they'd be better. They probably fighting for the 6th, 7th, or 8th seed instead of the 10th and 9th seed. Yeah.
I was gonna say probably. I wouldn't put them at 10, but I was gonna say they'd probably be 7, because I know the Lakers went on the slump for a while. Because even when the Warriors weren't playing great because of Draymond being out, the Lakers were still playing bad, so they would have beat them. And I can't remember who's above the Lakers. Because Warriors are 10, Lakers are 9. I know Rockets are 11.
Yep.
I can't remember who's 7.
Good question. I think the Mavericks are 6.
So I don't know who's that.
Might as well look it up.
Is it Kings?
No, I don't think they're. And I could be wrong.
I think the Kings are I think the Kings may be 5th.
I never really pay attention to the Kings.
Well,
Kings are 8th.
Okay,
so
it is
the
Kings.
Lakers. Yep.
I knew they were in somewhere. So yeah. So I feel like the Kings and the Warriors would have been going back and forth for that 7th spot, 7, 8, or maybe, or like you said, 6, 7. I don't know.
I want to say, I just took my hair down. If that isn't, it looks ridiculous. I don't know what you were thinking when I first came in.
No, I kind of figured that's what happened.
But yeah, so the Kings are just they're while they were on top last year, they're just slowly just there like they used to be.
I feel like they still have a couple things to do to get to a certain point, but I don't know. I feel like I'm not gonna say they have a chance, but I wouldn't just count them out either.
So it's I'm not saying anything can happen, but there are the teams that I would just never think have a chance. Those are I won't say the OKC Thunder because for some reason I feel like they could have a chance, but
I don't.
Not this year.
Oh, I'm talking about this year. Like
I'm just talking. So in general, like I would never think in my lifetime. I'm sure it'll happen, but I can't imagine the Kings ever winning a championship, the Hornets ever winning a championship, the Magic ever winning a championship, the Timberwolves. Yeah, I mean there's just certain teams. I'm like.
But is this based on a current roster or just the team
history?
Okay.
And sure, that's a casual thing to say. I don't care, but history is history. Like I said, anything can happen. Obviously, at some point, I'm going to say they have to win a championship, but at some point, somebody wins their first championship. So the Nuggets, they have been going so long of not winning a championship, and though the Nuggets were never a team that I felt like would never win one, I just didn't think it would be anytime soon. Even with Jokic, I think my biggest thing was Michael Porter Jr. His health just always seemed to be up in the air. And sure, Jamal Murray and Jokic are good. I just felt like just them two. Yeah, I didn't see them winning.
You know what's crazy about the Nuggets? Like they're like such a well, maybe not dominant, but they're such a force to be reckoned with in the West. But like the only people I know on the team are Murray and Jokic.
Michael Porter Jr.
Yeah, but you said yourself he's in and out. I'm talking about like that play consistently.
Yeah,
those are the only two people that I know. I can't think of anybody else on the team.
So one thing I definitely like about them, and it's one thing that LeBron should be paying attention to, even though at this point I don't even know if he cares about rings anymore. Is that they made almost no moves, and they are still they're still a contender.
Yeah.
Everybody else has been like, oh, I got to do this, I got to do that. Lakers are trying to get Trae Young. I think that's a horrible idea, but they just looking for the next best thing.
Why do you think that is?
Trae.
I'm talking about like, why do you think the Nuggets are like? Oh, they're still a force even though they didn't do anything.
Just like and you can counter this with a whole bunch of other different teams that tried this, but the fact that they built theirs organically, it's just they have the chemistry as opposed to trying to bring somebody in and then it's like, all right, you just gotta fit in. Sure, you can learn our scheme, but you don't know us.
I think that's part of it, but I think the other part is all the players that they have bought it. Aaron Gordon.
Yep.
I think all the players bought into the system. Like they all know their role, they play their role, and they all agree. And they have a collective mindset of like, this is what we're doing. While some teams, you have some people who don't agree with certain things, or maybe this person is getting more shots than if you feel like he should, or so like I feel like the Nuggets, they all like, we're in this. It doesn't hurt to have Jokic, but who's like, some people feel like is one of the best centers ever. I don't know how I feel about that, but at the same time, I have no evidence against it either. So
the numbers would say so. Numbers are inflated just because everything in the NBA is just up now. Yeah. But when all is said and done, if he just retires right now with 2, maybe 3 MVPs and a championship, does that really qualify as the best center of all time compared to Shaq having 4, Kareem having 5? It just doesn't compare.
Well, if you're going just based on that, then no. But I think a lot of people are based on the fact that like he's, as a center, I think he's averaged the most triple doubles, and he's had the longest amount of triple. It was just like you said, it's the numbers. All those numbers kind of make it a little bit more of a conversation as opposed to just championships and MVPs.
That's a good segue into what I'm, the greatest of all time thing. But triple doubles, I won't say it's a new thing. Obviously, it's been out for a while. But if they were one, I won't say it's an empty stat. Obviously, triple doubles do contribute. But people have won championships before without triple doubles being a important thing. Russell Westbrook has the most triple doubles, and he's won nothing. So I said that as the segue part because I was trying to think of all the different things that people, and we've had this conversation. It might have even been on here. All the different things that people measure greatest of all times were. And triple doubles were one of the things that I was debating should I put on there. And whenever you talk to somebody about, is Jordan the best of all time, Kobe, LeBron, when you talk to anybody about that, nobody ever talks about triple doubles. And it's because none of them have ever placed an emphasis on triple doubles. So if somebody did get thrown into the mix and they were heavy on triple doubles like Jokic, then to me that still would be unfair because that wasn't really important back then. So that's just one of those things that I'm like, I don't think should contribute to greatest of all time.
I see your point. My only counterpoint to that would be, it's kind of hard to leave it out if you're gonna use stats in general.
Well, I have other things that incorporate stats.
Because I guess the reason why I'm saying is because and not necessarily just for your system, but when people have the conversation of the GOAT or the greatest of all time, whatever. Usually people, I'm not gonna say people. I'm trying to say this the nicest way.
Yeah, go ahead. Don't say it whatever way.
People are stupid sometimes. and I don't mean stupid in the sense of not intelligent, but like stupid in the sense of okay, because I would be one of them. I don't know all the stats. So when if I'm having a conversation debating Jordan versus LeBron, obviously I'm going to lean on the championships, the trips to the finals, and all that kind of stuff because I don't know his stats like that. But if you bring in stats, it's kind of hard to leave out a stat of somebody averaging a triple double for a season or having 33 games with a triple double. It's you have to mention that at least, but that's only if you're going to lean on stats for things. But if you're not bringing stats in it, then I can see the point of not bringing it in. But if you bring in he's a scorer, he averaged 30-something points a season. Okay, but he also averaged 37 triple doubles. Like,
I see what you're saying.
so it's got you gotta mention it at least. But that's only if you're bringing in numbers. Like, you can't bring in numbers and not mention that.
So just I'll try to remember everything, and I didn't plan on talking about it.
No, you do.
So the things obviously, so rings is the biggest thing. Nothing else on the list counts as much as rings. But at the same time, rings, again, we were talking about consistency. It degrades over time depending on if you have MVPs or not. So rings, MVPs, they're the top two, 10 and 8. And then you have finals MVPs, which people don't talk about, but that's one of those things. Like, I think that matters, especially if you think if you should be are considered one of the greatest of all time, and you went to the finals and you didn't win finals MVP. I mean, are we really talking about it?
I think the reason why some people don't really let that add weight is because, like, sometimes the wrong person gets the finals MVP and it's like, why did he get it?
Which is true. So I usually, in the years that I've been watching basketball, for the most part, everybody has one that should have won. Andre Iguodala is probably one of them. I was just about to say. I was like, I don't think. I mean, I can see an argument of why he got it. Yeah. But, like, do I honestly think he should have gotten it? No, I remember when they announced it, Andre. I was like, no. Like, at the time, I was upset about it because Steph Curry was the star of the team. I wasn't even thinking about stats, anything, and that was a very, very, I keep saying casual, but whatever. That was a very casual way to look at it. But, just years later, people saying no, Steph should have won it made me, I guess validated how I felt.
I think he only got it because, like, he made big plays and big moments in the series in total, and so it was just kind of like, I feel because, like I said, I could see the argument. Somebody was like, Steph is Steph, but, like, if Iggy hadn't made these 6 or 7 plays, we probably wouldn't have had a championship.
Yeah.
So here you go, Iggy.
Now, me personally, I don't, I take anything that Nick Wright says with a grain of salt. But I think he's one of those people that said, you gave the MVP, the Finals MVP, to Andre Iguodala for his defense of LeBron, but LeBron averaged 32 the whole series. Yeah. Like, dang, I mean, that's a good point.
Because here's the thing, like, and I'm not trying to poke holes, but, like, these are just things that I think about and I've also heard other people talk about. So I know, one, a lot of people don't have a lot of weight to the Finals MVP because of those examples. Maybe, like, it's probably like a handful of people that gotten it that shouldn't have gotten it. But for the most part, the people who should have gotten it. But then you also look at, like, the MVP or whatever, the NBA MVP or whatever, and it's kind of like, I could also see a world where LeBron should have gotten it 3 or 4 times in a row. But it's kind of like, you don't want to keep giving it to LeBron, or you don't want to keep giving it to KD. So it's like, well, like, for instance, Steve Nash won back-to-back. Should he have really won MVP back-to-back?
Listen, I don't listen to reason when it comes to Steve Nash. I like Steve Nash. I'm okay with it.
I mean, I like Steve. I've often told you, I think I may have said on here, he's one of the best point guards I've ever seen play. Do I think he should have won MVP twice in a row? I don't think so.
And, one of my, I don't know, toxic, because there was a thing when they were used to toxic traits. My toxic NBA trait is that I would pick John Stockton and Steve Nash over Chris Paul and Russell Westbrook. If I was put together a championship team,
I would take Steve Nash and Russell Westbrook. I don't know about John Stockton.
Listen, y'all be sleeping on John Stockton.
No, I give much respect to John Stockton. It's just, when I think, like, Steve Nash is Steve Nash, right? Mm-hmm. Russell West. Well, I'm just gonna say Westbrook. Yeah. Okay. Westbrook is who Westbrook is. Mm-hmm. He has the energy, tenacity, all that kind of stuff. Stockton, all he's gonna give me is assists.
He's had defense too.
But I'm saying at least Westbrook, even though he's not the best shooter, he's gonna give me some kind of energy. He's gonna give me some. He's gonna score some buckets for me. Like, he's gonna drive to the lane, draw fouls, whatever. But if you combine him with Nash, who is the assist person and the ball handler, Stockton is just going to be dribbling a whole lot.
Okay. So, one, I wouldn't have him on the same team. Definitely wouldn't put, Russell Westbrook.
Just say Westbrook, man.
and Steve Nash on the same team, because that's redundant. If Westbrook played like a shooting guard, which he should be, then yeah. So my thing is that, again, I don't feel like a star, your number one star being a point guard is going to be equal championship. Russell, I know I'm saying it correctly, but I know thinking about it, I'm probably going to mess it up. So Westbrook and Stockton and Nash. You can make a argument that Nash was maybe the number one star on there, but they didn't play like they were the number one star. They were more about getting other people involved. Westbrook, I feel like, is going to fall into that trap. Like, hey, my stats matter, and I don't. I'm going to get my stats.
I don't. Okay, here's my thing. I feel like Westbrook would only fall into that trope if he's on a team where he recognizes I'm on it. Like when he was with OKC with Adams or whoever, I'm the main person. I got to do what I got to do. Then you put him on the Lakers. We ain't gonna talk about that. Which I feel like he got a lot of crap that he shouldn't have got. But then you put him on the Clippers where he's like a third person and he's doing great. Like he's not the star. He's not the main person.
That's because his contract. He's been humbled because of his contract. He's not getting paid as much as he was. He's not.
But I'm saying the point I'm making is he's willing to accept that. Is what I'm saying.
Now, but yeah, like if you're thinking about the Westbrook that you want on your team, it's probably MVP Westbrook. It's probably the Westbrook with James Harden and Kevin Durant. And obviously that didn't work out because they were trying to figure out who is number one, KD and Westbrook. So. I just don't want that. I want somebody who I know is going to fit into the system. Just like James Harden. Like James Harden, and I'm not. James Harden was a great player. He's
great
had
scorer.
Exactly. But I'm not. I don't want him on my team.
I don't want him.
Yep.
Well, I'll take. Nah, I will say it depends. There's a slight chance. Very, very slight chance that I may take Rockets Harden.
That's the Harden I don't want.
The only reason I picked that one is because I feel like to me, that's when he was like at his deadliest scoring wise.
Yeah, most definitely that was the best Harden.
Like that, but that's what I said. It's a slight chance. I'm not saying that it's absolute. It's just a slight chance.
If I can get him to take a bench role, then heck yeah, I would take him. Which, obviously, people are going to be looking like, man, this guy's stupid. Obviously, Rockets Harden was legendary. He was like, 30. He was averaging more than like 35 points a game for a long time. For a second, I thought he was going to like break the points. Now, obviously, you can't break Wilt Chamberlain, but I was wondering if he was going to break Michael Jordan. But it didn't happen. So I recognize James Harden was a beast. But again, you gotta think about fit and sure you can say that he literally said himself. He said that he doesn't play in a system. He is the system. He even said that on the Clippers. I believe that was Clippers.
But here's my thing though. Like I get what you're saying as far as like fit, but I guess my question is what it depends on the system you're trying to create. Because I feel like was it Dan and Tony? Was it the Rockets? I feel like his system, the Rockets system he had for Harden would have worked. I feel like they would have been successful. The only issue was Harden don't play defense. Because I feel like if Harden had to play just a little bit of defense, because the other pieces around him they played defense well enough. I feel like if they had played a little more defense, they probably would have did better.
They that 1 year they
because they had offense was there. They got that. They gonna score.
And they almost beat the Warriors. I think they went to 7. They could have went all the way that 1 year.
All they had to do was just play a little bit more defense.
That and I think Chris Paul. I think that was a year that Chris Paul's always entered in the playoffs.
Because didn't they have wasn't Carmelo there too? Or was that? Because I know he went to the Rockets for a little bit.
Okay, that does. I don't know why that does. I don't remember it, but that may be.
I feel like he went to the Rockets for a little bit.
So obviously, he's Denver, Knicks. Now I want to say Rockets. So OKC, Portland. Yeah, I can see him in a Rockets jersey.
I know. Well, I'm not gonna say I know for a fact, but like I'm pretty sure he went to the Rockets. My only question is, was he there during the time Harden was there?
Yeah.
That's my only. That's where I'm kind of drawing a blank.
So I didn't finish everything. So then you got one of the things that obviously people.
2018, 2019.
Okay. So there, everybody's talking about one of the biggest things. It's not right now, but LeBron being number one in points of all time, 40,000, blah 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 blah. Mm-hmm. So because that is a thing that people use, and longevity. I didn't talk to you about longevity. That's another thing that I put on there. I think I text you about that. So one of the criteria is where were you on the all-time leaderboard when you retire? So obviously LeBron is going to retire at number 1 in points. Mm-hmm. Michael Jordan retired at number 2 in points, and he was like number 4 in steals. I don't think so. So if you're number 1, you're getting 10 points. If you're number 2, you're getting 7, then 5, going all the way down to 5th. I don't rank anything after that. 5th is going to be 1 point. And then longevity. If you played 1 to 10 years, that's 1 point. Just about everybody on this list is obviously going to be playing 10 years. And then 10 to 5 years is 2 points. 5 to 20 years is 3 points. Anything after 20 years is 4 points. So LeBron is definitely kicking butt there. All-Star appearance, I think, is 1 point, or is it more? I think it's 1 point because people don't really count that and when they talk about. Sure, it is a thing, when you watch people on SportsCenter. Mm-hmm. But when you're just talking to somebody, if I'm talking to you, we're not gonna be like, yeah, LeBron's been in 20 All-Star games.
No, because it's like the MVP. It's like a lot of things. Like it's often a popularity thing, mm-hmm. especially when you had the years where only the fans voted. So of course the fans are going to vote for the main people that they want, mm-hmm. and then you add in the press, and so it's just like, because then you end up getting like certain people who in the All-Stars like, how did he get in here?
And then of course there are greatest of all time candidates, so it's expected.
Yeah, especially when like quote unquote like you're. Like I would consider LeBron the face of the league right now.
Even right now. I said even right.
Yeah, who else is the face of the league outside of him?
So yeah, I mean him and Steph, I think, kind of share it, but I just figure like it's in a transition period. But no, nobody has officially become the face of the league after LeBron. Yeah,
because I mean, who would you make the face of the league?
People are really pushing for Anthony Edwards. It's too soon for him, but for me, just about everybody else is like, I don't want to say it's too old. So Giannis is in his prime, like 27, 28 years. And Jokic is still, like, he's a little bit younger. But it's like, at what point do you make, like...
I don't think Jokic has done enough to be the face of the league.
But, like, if you are the greatest, supposedly, in the league, then it's like, you should be considered. But do you feel, what's the word? International, what's the word I'm looking for? Foreign players, do you think that should be, like, do you have I don't want to say a bias against foreign players, but do you think a foreign player shouldn't be the face of the league?
I don't have an issue with it. Yeah, I mean, especially if they are who they are. I mean, you can't. But I think, because I guess with the Jokic thing, like, I mean, if he has the numbers and all that kind of stuff and stats, but like, I guess when I think of face of the league, it's other stuff than just the play. Mm-hmm. And like he doesn't have that charisma. Like he's just like, I want to play ball. I'm gonna go home. And, during the summer I'm gonna go back and I come back when it's time. Like, because essentially the NBA is a 9 to 5 to Jokic. Mm-hmm. Exactly. To LeBron, this is like it's his life. Like his hands touch a lot of things outside of just his scoring. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like when you think about face of the league, it's like you got to think about all those other intangibles. And it's like Jokic.
If you're not transcending the league, then how can you be the face? That's a problem with Luka and Giannis. Like Giannis, again, he's to a lesser degree like Jokic. Like I'm here to play, and that's it.
I was gonna be real ignorant.
Go ahead.
I don't want to say it, but I'm gonna say it. Okay. The only issue I have with Jokic and foreign players being the face of the league is like, I need to understand what you're saying in the interview.
I can understand that.
I need to know what you're saying. Like,
that's what kind of look does that? But I mean, I'm
not saying you got to have perfect English. It just needs to be, not legible because they don't have subtitles in real life.
I was going to say intelligible, but just Oh nope, Auto Boy's in it either.
I don't know. I know what I'm trying to say, but I can't think of the word. But like, I need to be able to understand.
I was gonna say understand.
You know, and maybe that's just. To your point, that I guess that kind of alienates Europeans from being faces of the league. But like, I feel like Luka does pretty good. Like I know Luka, I get Luka. I can hear him. Giannis for the most part, I can understand him. Now Embiid,
Yep.
I go in and out. I go in and out with Embiid.
At no point, and I'm look, I don't not like Embiid, but just his injuries, like I don't want to say I don't want to, because I mean that's a horrible thing to say for another black person, but like I just don't trust that he is consistent or he will show up enough to positively represent the face of the league.
I do kind of, since you brought up his injuries, I do kind of feel for Embiid though, especially this season, because like he was balling out this season, and he was basically a shoe-in to get MVP, and then he gets injured, and then they got the stupid 65, which I get the rule. I'm not saying it's stupid as far as like the rule itself. The reason why I say it's stupid is because like, if I get injured, and if I've already missed 60 games and I got 5 more to miss before I'm ineligible or whatever, but if I'm clearly injured, somebody falls on me or I have to have surgery, like I don't think those 5 games or the games I missed should count towards the 65.
So there is I guess what's the word? A question, like if everybody does vote and be number one, despite the fact that there is a rule, like do they still give it to them? Do they automatically, because I know they have to have first, second, and third place votes. So they probably just give it to whoever had second place.
Probably because what's his name was kind of pissed off about it too, Halliburton, because he ended up going back playing even though he wasn't fully healed, because it's like I don't want to miss the 65 games. So it's like, how do you and I'm not saying Kawhi has done this lately, but like I can understand to where it's a situation where like, oh, Kawhi's sitting out and like you're not really like sure if he's hurt or just kind of like, oh, whatever. But like, if I know for a fact you injured your meniscus or whatever and you had to have surgery and you're gonna miss 12 games or 5 weeks or whatever, like that shouldn't count against you.
All right, so so the injury part, yes, I understand, but I am all for the 65 game rule. Let's and people do translate it to like a 9 to 5. I don't really call out, and obviously if I'm injured, I can't play basketball, so that's different. But you do have people who, like, if they're sick, hey, I'll call out from work.
Right.
And I mean, it has to be, my skull has to be fractured in order for me to not go to work. But anyway, that's not the same. So let me just get off of that.
I mean, I feel like this is because, like, even with work, like, you have people who abuse the call out. Like, you have people who, but obviously, to a certain degree, like in real life, like NBA, you can't always, what's the term?
Control. Not
control, validate it. Yeah, so like, who's to say like, oh, I've been having back spasms, like, or my ribs are feeling bruised, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how can I tell you that your body's not hurting?
Exactly. If you legitimately have a broken leg, then
right.
Yeah, it's kind of like that shouldn't be. But for the most part, there's the argument that most awards that go to people have been playing more than 65 games anyway. Yeah. It is to encourage people to not do, but. So I think the word valuable is no longer really considered when it comes to MVP. They think about, stats, they think about wins and all this stuff. I'm more, I won't say a stickler, but I think valuable is an important word in MVP. So I think contract should have something to do with it. I think wins, does.
I was just about to ask you that.
So I think wins are too much, weighted too much, because I mean if I'm just one player, I can't win a team, games on my own. So I think wins should matter, but not as much as they do now. So if I have a supermax contract or a max contract, then yes, if I'm sitting out, if I'm not playing 65 games, then I am wasting that supermax money. If I didn't have that supermax, that money could be spent elsewhere that could possibly make the team better.
So just to clarify, if you have a player who is averaging 33 points a game, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, whatever. Decent year. But their team is like number 10.
It depends on,
You think they should be in the running for MVP?
It depends. So, I mean, if it's a decent year, because, 33, 8, and 5 is definitely not bad. That sounds like, a Shea Gilgeous-Alexander kind of. And people do feel like he's like number 2. But OKC is obviously doing better than 10th seed. I know that people wouldn't consider him, but obviously he is being considered even though, so his team is winning. But if his team wasn't winning, then he wouldn't be considered. So his stats are good enough for him to be MVP.
Because wasn't he in consideration not last year or the year before when they weren't doing good? Because I think there was a season not too long ago where they weren't trash, but he was obviously like balling out, but they weren't doing as great as they are now. So
last year, I don't want to say it was his coming out season because he's been doing pretty good, but last year was when people was like, okay, he's going to be perennial, as they would say, but one of those MVP candidates for a while. But they weren't doing good last year, and they were all the videos like the NBA is terrified of the Thunder. Oh, the Thunder are coming, and sure enough, they came. I didn't think it'd be this soon, but whatever. So it was last year, and he was in my fantasy draft. The only thing that he had going against him was that he was not very good at 3-point shooting, which is improved this year. But it's. I think that if you have the numbers, obviously, if other people have the numbers and their team is doing better, I think that's the whole thing. If other people have the numbers and their team is doing better, then they're going to be considered more than a person that has the numbers that isn't doing good.
So are you saying? I just want to make sure I'm understanding you. So are you just basically saying like if you have the numbers, even if your team isn't winning, you should at least be in the consideration for it?
Most definitely.
Okay.
Because it is, and again, contract has something to do with it. It should have something to do with it. But like anybody who is exceptional should at least be considered. Okay. I'm not saying that they should be voted for, but people should be thinking about them. And I'm not, and people probably do. Well, we just don't hear about it because they're probably thinking about the teams that are doing good. So if there's a person who is on like a rookie scale deal, and they are just like Victor Wembanyama, obviously his team is not doing good. Because he's a rookie, he's probably not going to get Defensive Player of the Year.
I don't think he should.
And I think that's ridiculous because that man is doing things like that man, like just looking at him, he can block the craziest shots, and he's probably averaging a whole bunch. Like I say, probably his points aren't like amazing, but everything else, blocks are all so good. And he's not being considered just because he's rookie. I think exceptions should be made, especially when he's playing less than 30 minutes a game.
For the record, I hear you. I'm biased though, and I'm gonna tell you why.
Okay.
He's also 8 foot. He's 7 foot, whatever. How do you not block the amount of shots that you block?
That shouldn't. So just because he's doing what he's supposed to be doing, you're gonna take him out?
My argument isn't he should be taken out because of that. I'm just saying that's just why I don't really consider him the defensive. But it's just a personal bias.
But he's literally giving you. So if he wasn't doing it, then you would be like, oh, this man's a bust. He's not. He's a bum.
I'm not. For the record, I'm not disagreeing with you. I am impressed with the stats and all that. I'm not saying. I'm just simply saying like, this is what you should do. So let's say he's averaging 4 now. Next season he averages 7 blocks. Is that good enough for you to consider him? 10 blocks, 15. So let's say this. Okay, let me clarify what I'm saying.
All right.
Based on the numbers, based on his play, me personally, I wouldn't care if he was in the conversation for it. I'm just simply saying, you're also 7 foot something. You should be doing that. I'm not saying he should be not. I'm not saying he shouldn't be considered because he's a rookie or all those. I'm just saying if they came out and say, hey, here's the options for defensive player of the year and his name's on the list, I'd be like, okay, cool. Like the numbers say it, he's doing good. I'm just simply saying I'm not surprised by the numbers because you're 7 foot something.
So let's apply this to Rudy Gobert, because Rudy Gobert has won Defensive Player of the Year a few times before. At this point, it should be expected that he's doing this.
Yeah, I wasn't really on board when he won.
So who? I'm not asking for anybody specifically, but you're thinking like somebody that you just somebody out of like, oh, I wasn't expecting him to be putting 1 block a game.
Let me be honest with you, James.
I'm trying to figure it out.
I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I can give 2 shits about defensive player of the year. I really could care less about defensive player of the year.
Okay.
Whoever wins defensive player of the year, hey, congrats. I don't really keep up with it that much. All I know is Wembanyama or Wemby is 7'8" or however tall he is. If you're not averaging 4 blocks playing the little amount of minutes you got, something's wrong. Like you can stand at the goal, put your arms up, and more likely you're gonna get 2 blocks by standing there. Like, how do you not get 4?
I will say, listen.
Come on, man.
And it's only been 1 season, so I can't say that his career is going to blow away my expectations. But so many people have been injured in their first year that just the fact that he's still playing and he's doing so well, I just did not expect this. So I'm not saying I'm on a bandwagon, but I'm already commending him. I'm already impressed with him because he is doing what I didn't think he would be doing.
Well, it's crazy you mentioned that because it was also a conversation that came up on one of the shows I was watching, because they were talking about how, like, because he's averaging all these things, he's making all these numbers he's making now, but he's only playing like maybe 20, 30 minutes or something, maybe something like that. So it's kind of like, the question is, your team is not that great. Do you play him more?
No.
But so it's kind of like, so the conversation split into 2 sides. So you got, because it was like a group of people, I can't remember who. So one side of the group was like, he's obviously the best player on the team, even with the small amount of time he's playing. So in order to give ourselves a chance to win more games, we should play him more, right? He's number 1 seed, whatever. Like, play him. He's a great player. Play him. He's going to get better as he learns more and stuff like that. The other side of the group was like, don't play him more. Keep him in the minutes that he's playing now, because that way you preserve him for the future of the franchise. Exactly. So that way you don't basically run him into the ground now. You keep the amount of minutes he plays now, and then you give him time to develop the skills of that he doesn't have, or polish the skills that he has, or whatever. So going forward, when you get different pieces or you rearrange stuff or you do whatever going forward, now you got a team around him built for the future, as opposed to like, oh, we got in the first year, oh, he has your 4 blocks, whatever many points. Let's play you 40 minutes, and now you risk him getting hurt because you're playing him too much. But at the same time, we're the number 4 seed now, so it's like, what do you do? There's
so many things that went across my mind when you were saying that, and I don't think I'm going to remember it all. But for the most part, just about everything you said, I agree with. Except I would not play him more now, because it doesn't benefit anybody to do that. Everybody knows that it's just like a car. The more miles you put on somebody, the quicker they're going to break down. So sure, obviously you want him to get better, but he has his whole career to get better. This is his rookie season, and for who again is it benefiting him to play him more? If he does play more, sure, his stats go up higher, but you're still losing games. Like, just because he played 5 more minutes, that don't mean you're going to win 40 more games. You're probably going to win 3-4 more games, and that's not worth it. It's not worth his future, like you said. 2. Not saying that anybody's thinking about this, let alone Greg Popovich, but if you play him less now, it looks good for stats-wise later, because if you are only playing him 28 minutes now, 32 minutes next season, his stats are going to go up and up. He's going to look better. And if for some reason you need to trade him, which obviously I don't think they're going to do,
unless he just dies for some reason.
Exactly, his value goes up and up. And then everything else was what you were saying, just to get.
So let me ask you this question, because they obviously I don't see it, but I was watching highlights from when they played OKC, and like they were building up this big rivalry or future rivalry between him and Chet. Like,
yes,
How do you feel about that?
So rivalries. First, obviously, like we're not living. I mean, history is being made every day, but the problem with today is that we don't have the luxury of this being history. We have the Lakers and the Celtics and all that stuff that happened a long time ago. So I do believe that obviously Chet and Wemby, two big guys that are similar in a way, that have similar builds, vying for Rookie of the Year, automatically puts them as a rivalry. And there has been times where Chet, I think, may have said, I don't know if it was Chet, may have said something like, "Oh yeah, I want to win this." So the seeds are there. And sure, right now it may not be as evident, but there is a storyline that, hey, the race is between Chet and Wemby, and for a while Chet was the number one.
I mean, I could kind of see it, but on the other end of the spectrum, I'm just kind of like, and maybe I'll say it this way, I can see it. Obviously, like you said, I agree with them. Two big guys, same shape, build, similar skills. One has different, they got different skills, but they also have similar skills. But at the same time, I guess I'm looking at it too, and I'm just thinking like, I'm not interested.
It's probably because it's two teams, even though OKC is doing better. It's probably two teams that you haven't really cared for in the past.
It ain't got nothing to do with teams. It's them. I'm not interested in them.
Is it because they're just new? They're rookies?
No, okay. I'll say this. I like them separately, but like them battling each other, I don't care.
I see.
Yeah, I don't care about them battling.
And this is to backtrack. So another reason why I guess it would be a rivalry is because last year was supposed to be Chet's rookie year, but he got injured. Yeah. So it's almost like divine, not intervention, but it was in the cards for him to play this year with Wemby.
Cause think about Chet. I like Chet, but like also I heard somebody else talking about like if OKC plays the Lakers, it'd be a bad matchup for them because of like Chet's a skilled big guy, but AD is a big guy.
Yeah.
So like he'd be more opposing as opposed to like Chet, because Chet he ain't got to wait to him for real. Like he's a skilled big guy, but he ain't got to wait to him.
It'd be like Yao Ming versus Shaq.
Yeah. While Yao Ming gave it to Shaq a few times, it was always Shaq's
most definitely.
Game.
Chet still just has to develop. Sure, he put on a little bit of weight when he came in this season, but he's going to get there. I say that. I mean, this is just his first year playing, so I can't speak for the future, but he has potential. Like I really like Wembanyama. And Chet, just what he's been doing is not to be undersold. Like he has potential.
Oh yeah.
I can't say that he's going to flame out. I can't say that he's going to be Hall of Fame, but just it's the decade, it's the era of the big man. Like I remember I was talking to somebody on Instagram, and they said that big men. I can't remember what they said, but it was something real stupid like big men aren't it right now, and I'm like, Jokic just won the last two MVPs. Sorry, what's the name? Embiid won the last MVP. Jokic the last two before that. What's the name? Giannis the two before that. Not to mention the Finals MVPs. What are you talking about?
Yeah. All I know is me and Chet, we just won the NBA Finals on 2K the other day. I'm on OKC 2023. We just won the championship. We're really 24 because it's my second season. But yeah,
I remember, so I watched, some NBA videos, people rebuilding in NBA 2K. And there's somebody named Six Rings of Steel. And I want to say it was like 2021. It was like 3 years before Chet. And he was like, yeah, so Chet, Chet's going to be a beast. I gotta draft Chet. Like, who the hell is Chet Holmgren? And the pictures were just like this skinny, and I'm like, okay. And I didn't know.
Yeah.
So, it's nice to see somebody else be high on somebody, and because I don't watch college.
Not for real. I don't either for real. Last couple of things before we wrap it up. Did you know Wembanyama has a 60-year-old brother?
So draft night, I know he had a sister. I don't remember if his brother was there, but it just sounds like the Antetokounmpo's all over again.
Because I think his brother just won like the France league.
I think they won 2 titles.
Yeah.
But he's 6'8" right now. I doubt he'll be as tall as Wembanyama, but I mean,
He doesn't need to be though.
yeah, exactly. Like even if he's 7 foot, like or 7'1", he can be the Chet stopper. Like before you get to Wembanyama, you need to go. Before you get to Victor, you got to get through my brother.
You got to go through the Wemby to get to the Wemby.
Mm-hmm, exactly.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It is what it is. It was something else I was going to say. Drawing a blank. Okay. What you going to say?
Go for it.
I was going to say last question. Who you put in the finals?
Okay. All right. So we for the last couple 2-3 years, there's always been somebody we didn't expect. So would that be the Timberwolves? Would that be the Clippers? Would that be OKC Thunder?
Well, with the Timberwolves not having Cat right now, I don't know how they're going to do.
I'm pretty sure Cat comes back for the playoffs.
But is he going to be 100%? You know what I'm saying? Like,
I don't have faith in the Clippers. So I think the Thunder could make it deep into the playoffs, but do I think it's going to be beside somebody other than the Nuggets? As much as I want it to be the Mavericks, I still don't have faith in
they've been on a spree these last few games, man.
As much I want
they have been doing a thing. Luka throwing alleys to Kyrie. You just see that?
Yeah, I did.
Oh man, they've been. Listen,
I'm gonna say out the West, it's gonna be Denver, but the dark horse is probably going to be I'm gonna say the Thunder. So if it is gonna be a team we don't expect, maybe the Thunder. Which they've been once with KD and them. So in the East, it's the Celtics to lose.
Just say the Celtics, man.
No, because listen, the Celtics have been underperforming, and sure they went to the finals, but it's like it's not guaranteed with them, and sure their whole team, like they have a great not starting six, but top 6.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. They just their history. And I say this, they're the winningest team in the NBA. That's not what the heck I meant. Just like the last 3-4 years, like besides them making it to the finals, they always come up short when we think that they're the team to make it.
No, I completely get you. Because even these last 10 games or so, they even when they blowing people out, they still turn out and lose by 30 or lose a 22-point lead. So it's like you don't know what to get from. But at the same time, it's kind of like these are also the last few weeks. So like, are people really playing hard for real?
That's true.
Especially when you've already locked the number 1 seed.
That's very true.
Are you really playing super hard?
Yeah.
I don't know. You don't know what to get from the Celtics. I get you.
So the Bucks, even when they were making it to the finals, I've always said that they have all the stars have to line for them. And things haven't necessarily been going great since Dame has been there. And then they have Doc Rivers as a coach. So I don't really, if they make it, I don't see them winning the finals.
I want Dame to get one, man.
I know. And next year might be the year. There's been teams where I can't think of off the top of my head, but it's like the Mavericks. When Kyrie got there, and of course that wasn't a full year. It wasn't me. People were like, they got it. They can make it this time. Like no, and then this year, they actually, I don't want to say started doing well, but there was a point in time where they were doing their thing.
You can see it.
Yeah. So I next year might be the year for the Bucks, and who knows if Giannis, if it isn't, Giannis could request a trade. He already talked about the Bulls. Hopefully that happens. But just to give you a definitive answer, the Celtics. Would it be the Nuggets versus the Celtics? I got to put a team in there that. We'll go to you. Who do you think is going to? Who you got?
Me personally, out of the West, I have. It's either the Nuggets or OKC. If I had to pick, I'd probably say Nuggets. Out of the East, I got either the Celtics or the Bucks. But my dark horse in the East is the Cavaliers.
Okay, I was gonna say don't say Knicks.
I would have said Knicks, but I don't know what their health is like, because I know they had a lot of people that got hurt. But if the Knicks have a full squad, I'm not gonna say they'll make a deep run. I'm not gonna say they're gonna make it to the finals. I'll put them in the same category as what's the other team I mentioned earlier, the Kings. I put them in that same category. Like, I don't think they'll win. I don't think they'll go far. But at the same time, if I'm playing them, I'm not taking them easy.
Yeah.
Like, because the Heat is like that too. Like, you don't want to count the Heat out, especially playoff Jimmy.
Yep.
Come on, man. But at the same time, do I have them to win? No. But like, if I'm lined up against the Heat, I know I got to play for real, because they're gonna come. So if I had to just make an answer, definitive answer, I would say the Nuggets and the Celtics. Now, who the NBA wants to be in the finals? The Lakers and the Celtics.
Yes.
Because that's just NBA history.
And obviously LeBron's coming to the twilight of his career.
You got LeBron's twilight coming up. You got the Lakers franchise, or the name brand. You got the Lakers comeback, because they're number 9. They fought their way into because everybody had them out.
Yep.
Definitely. Then they fought their way up to 9. Now they're going to get to the play-in, fight all the way to the finals. Then you got the Lakers and Celtics history on top of that. Come on, man. And the Celtics they're playing the best they've played in a while. Like you said, the winningest team in the NBA. Come on. Why would the NBA not want that?
I personally think, and I'm not saying this is going to make LeBron the GOAT, but one thing that would probably put him over the top in other people's eyes, even though the play-in wasn't a thing with Jordan, but if he was to be a play-in team, then he won the finals and be the first team to do that, I think that would probably, people would probably use that.
I agree with that, but I would also add, even if he didn't have the play-in tournament and he just won the championship outright this year, I feel like a lot of people would put him in that conversation, because I feel like a lot of people, me myself included, they give the bubble championship an asterisk. So like, yeah, you won it, but like, you didn't really, you know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of other variables that, whatever. But for you to turn around and win it outright,
and year 21,
yeah,
like that's the biggest.
Because you won with Cleveland, you won with Miami, you won with LA. Everywhere you went, you won a championship.
One last thing. I couldn't remember what I was going to say before, but for the next two people who to do on that greatest of all time, so got Jordan and LeBron. Who should be next? But I don't want to sway your decision. But who would you say the next two people to add to the list?
To add to the list with them? I mean, Kobe.
So Kobe and one more person.
I guess you could say Kareem.
Yeah, Kareem was going to be my next person. So Kobe and Kareem. It's so many Lakers. It is what it is. All right, well, thank y'all for listening. If you're on YouTube, like and subscribe. We appreciate y'all. You can find me on Instagram. I'll be pointing to everywhere except the camera. You can find me on Instagram at HAPPEE__MILLS. You can find us on you guys are YouTube, the big and short of it all.
Yeah. You can find me on Instagram at DA_Bear, BEAR 29. TikTok, big and short of it all. I don't know if you mentioned that or not. My mind I be having questions going, especially cause after you get the juices flowing, I be having questions in my mind. So I be trying to, anyways. Yeah.
I didn't expect this to be an all NBA episode.
Hey man, it be that way sometimes. I had another question, but I ask you when we're done.
Okay.